One of the many topics presented in Parashat Vayeshev is the story of Yehuda and Tamar. This story is described in many different ways throughout art history, and I choose to present here a contemporary work by the artist Hani Cohen-Zada. As you can see, Cohen-Zada's artistic style is figurative, such that one can clearly identify what is depicted and understand that the painting transfers the biblical story to the present day. A young pregnant woman is sitting in the corner of a room with one hand on her lap and a thick ring on the tip of her finger. She is leaning on her other hand, which rests on the tzitzit and next to a tie that lay on the table. The room and its furniture are dark and simple. There is a light penetrating the painting from the side, which reveals a little of the darkness, but at the same time casts the figure's black shadow on the opposite wall. The whole image creates an impression of heaviness and mystery. This is a fictional biblical scene referring to Parashat Vayeshev. According to the story, Tamar disguised herself as prostitute and was impregnated by Yehuda, her father-in-law. She did this in order to establish a lineage from her dead husband after realizing that she had no other options left. This is a critical moment of great tension for Tamar. Yehuda had the ability to sentence her to death, as he declared, "Take her out to be burned." The story ends with Tamar presenting Yehuda with the belonging that he had given to her when she was dressed as a prostitute. The text says, as she was being brought out, she sent this message to her father-in-law. "I am with child by the man to whom those belong." And she added, "Recognize those, Haker na. Whose seal and cord and staff are those?" Tamar is saved, and Yehuda acknowledged the validity of her claim. The three identifying signs that Tamar sent to Yehuda were the belonging that he left with her, a seal, a cord, and a staff. The classical biblical commentators tended to interpret the word seal as a signet ring, which can be seen in the painting on the woman's figure. The fact that the ring is not her is evident from its position on the top of her finger, positioned as an object to be handed over in the future. Regarding the cord and the staff, the commentators were divided. Some thought that it was his belt or his clothes, and some raised the possibility that it was a tzitzit. The two objects in the painting, the tzitzit and the tie, represent contemporary clothing that symbolize a combination of religion and modernity. The tzitzit worn under the garment symbolize adherence to a religious lifestyle, and the tie tied over it is part of Western official dress code. Both can represent, to a large extent, the authoritative figure of Yehuda as it is described in the text. The artist Hani Cohen-Zada chose an imaginary moment, which on the surface has a great degree of stillness, but it contains with it an emotional storm. Unlike other works that describe the encounter between Tamar and Yehuda with much sexual tension, Cohen-Zada chose to depict Tamar alone, at home, lost in thought. Only viewers familiar with the story and with the lifestyle of the character in the Bible and with the lifestyle of religious women today will be able to understand the strength of Tamar's faith, which is apparently the main theme of the work. This is how the artist described her intention. On the one hand, Tamar, commits an act that breaks with the accepted social order. And on the other hand, she is the one who gets to establish the dynasty from which King David will be born in the future. The contemporary art world in Israel contains more and more works created by religious artists. This work is an example of this and testifies to the gradual acceptance of the field of visual art in the Orthodox religious society in Israel today. Shavua Tov from Schechter.